Alright, Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 5, arguably the best episode we've had in the series so far, but still not perfect. This episode finally, to start off with, included some flashbacks regarding Anakin and Obi-Wan back when they were both Jedis together. That was nice to see. I think that's something they really should have been doing from the start, or just having little glimpses in each episode, little cuts back and forth between time. I think it was cool. I think it looked pretty decent. The CG to de-age them and stuff was not bad. And, it was a cool scene to have them, fighting each other in that little episode 2 sort of time period where Anakin is still a young Padawan. These, along with the Vader and Obi-Wan segments, were great, and Reva had arguably her best episode here, with what I thought was a surprising twist to her story and a great performance from her. I like that she's willing to do anything for revenge, even to serve the Empire, even to serve the very thing she hates, just to get close to Vader. But it was even more great that Vader actually knew this was coming the entire time. Him promoting her to Grand Inquisitor and putting faith in her, in last week's episode and today's episode, it seemed un-Vader-like. I wasn't entirely convinced, would Vader really not have doubts about this person that's working for him? But it's all just a ruse by Vader, to pull her in, to pull her closer, because he just knows everything that's going on around him. He's the smartest one in the room, and he's also the most powerful. Of course, how much he knew she would betray him, whether that's down to him or whether that's down to the Grand Inquisitor, the original Grand Inquisitor, getting back in contact with him, and telling him that Reva betrayed him. Who knows, but regardless, it's cool to see the Grand Inquisitor back. I thought it was badass when he walked in with Vader. Very, very cool scene. I still don't think they're utilising Obi-Wan, however, and once again he is not where I'd like him to be, which is in the midst of this Vader Inquisitor drama. He always seems to be on the other side of it because the writers just won't separate him from Leia. At the start you think, okay, that's his one mission, save Leia and get her back, but they just will not break that partnership up. And for the life of me, I can't see why, because me, and I feel like a lot of audience members, do not want to see Obi-Wan just protecting Leia for the entire show. They want to see him fighting Inquisitors, battling Vader. If there were 3 episodes left of this show, I'd say we have a great finale on our hands. It's finally shaping up to something where they have time to really go all out for a final few episodes. But we have 1 episode left, and I think that there's not enough time there. There's too much to be desired and too much to be resolved in just 1 episode. And again, I think this episode wasted time. Not as much as prior episodes, but Leia scenes, Tala scenes, and the goofy inclusion of Haja always feels like wasted time. When Obi-Wan, Vader, and the Inquisitors are the only things that I'm really interested in, and it seems like it's the only thing anyone is interested in really seeing in this show. I know there's a bit of a joke going around at the moment that you just can't please Star Wars fans. We are unpleasable. We take the piss, or at least roast everything that Star Wars released in some way, shape or form, but we have been known to be pleased, in the Disney era, such as the Clone Wars ending, that finale, or such as the Mandalorian. We have been pleased in those instances, but people are just disappointed with this show, and rightly so. In my eyes, it is a disappointment, and not in the sense that it's a massive failure, but just in the sense that it could have been something very special, and it just hasn't panned out that way because of the way they've wasted time on plot lines that aren't that interesting, wasted time on characters that aren't that interested, rather than making the sole focus of this show the characters that we thought the sole focus of the show would be about, especially based on the trailers. There's so much they don't include in those trailers, obviously for certain reasons to keep things hidden, but all you see advertised in those trailers really is Obi-Wan, Vader, and Inquisitors, and you think that's what you're going to get here. You think that's going to be the entire show, but half of it isn't. Half of it is all this other crap that no one's really that interested in. The last episode can only try to finish on a high and make this show more satisfying than it has been, but today's episode did have some great moments and great elements, and it glimpsed what the show could have been had it run with these elements from the start. I would give today's episode an 8 out of 10. I think it is probably the strongest, better than even the early episodes. It had some really cool moments, really cool scenes. So yeah, I hope next week and the finale episode can just be fun, entertaining, and maybe try and bring just something cool, something interesting to this story that so far hasn't been that interesting. Either way, I've been Joe Squared. Thank you for watching. If you've seen it, feel free to let me know what you think about it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.